Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to explain you how to set up a piece of furniture with the Posy sit system. For this purpose I have here a piece of furniture, a couch, which is completely empty as you can see in the content. So you have to of course add some animations to it. Now in the Posy Builder pack there are some animations to practice with: female sit, male, neutral. What you also need to add is a script, a Posy script and a data script. The Posy does all the animation work and the data just remembers all the things. And you will need to add finally a note card, a backup note card here. There we go. And then we have loaded all the basic things in there. So that's the animations, the two scripts, Posy and data, and a backup note card. That's what you need to set up this couch. Now this note card is completely empty. You need to add some stuff to it. You need to add the words that you want to see in the menu. Once you sit on it, you want to pick an animation. You want to see a menu with the names representing those animations. And obviously these are ugly names with their underscores, and sometimes they can be too long as well. So in the menu you really need quite short names. So you can do that. Let's keep this open. Here's the contents. You can do that, well, first of all by adding a home folder, home something, or actually single sits is a better name for this top level folder. And inside you could for instance have these animations. So you could have you see I'm typing a tab here, that means it's inside the single sits folder. You can have a female, the word female representing that female sit, and you could have the male, and you could have a neutral for that neutral sit. So these would be the words that would show up in the menu. Of course each word needs to be linked to its corresponding animation. So behind this you need to type a semicolon and then the actual name in the folder, female underscore sit, with it's case sensitive as well, so you have to make sure that there's capital F and capital S. Behind that there need to be a set of numbers, 6 numbers, the first 3, so that's, I type a comma here, 3 numbers, 0, 0, 0. That's the position of the avatar. That's in centimeters. So that's, well, in this case, is all set in the center. You don't need to pay attention to the actual values. Just add a few placeholders here. Just 3 for the position and 3 for the rotation. And that's it. You don't need to worry about the actual numbers here. Copy. You don't need to worry about the actual numbers at all. You'll see later. I'm going to copy paste this, change that to male, paste another here too, change it to neutral. There we go, and then we save it. You have to make absolutely sure that these names are all correct, and that this is a semicolon, and that these are all commas, and here's a semicolon, and then there's nothing behind here. It's all important. Otherwise the menu will show up weird. So okay, now I've done this, and now I have to reset all the scripts. Right click and then more reset scripts. And then you have to wait for the word done before you click this away. And now it's all set up, so you can sit down now. There we go. This looks rather feminine. Well, that could be right because the word female is the first one mentioned in the note card. As you can see, it's the first one showing up in the menu. There we go. Female. Let's play the male. That's more men spreading, more masculine. And the neutral. That's something in between. Don't mind my shoes being in the floor. We'll get to that later. I'm going to talk a little bit about this note card and its structure. You can see that here's a folder for single sits. That's the top folder. I can also make subfolders. Suppose I have more animations in there, I could have female animations here, and then in there would be one female animation. Actually, you could have several, as many as you want, 50. Let's just call this female 1, female 2. Oh, you have to pay attention, don't make these names too long. 11 characters at most, I'd recommend 10. So how many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 should be fine. And then let's make the next folder, the male folder. And then we would have one tab deeper inside the folder, male number 1, male number 2. It's all the same animations. Of course, you have to use different animations for these as well. And then there's neutral. Well, let's just keep neutral in the main folder. So we have 2 subfolders and then an animation. Let's see how that works out. It's saved. I'm going to reset the script. So only click this screen away once you see the word done here, otherwise it will stop resetting. There we go. I'm going to sit here. There's the female animation, and it's the first one in the folder. Let's open this up. So I'm in single sits female, and you see the animations in this folder, female 1, female 2. I can go back one. See, now I'm up one folder, I'm in the single sits folder, and I have female, male, neutral. Female, male, neutral, you see the 3 dots here near. This signifies that there's more to come. So this is 3 dots means that it's a folder. You can go deeper, and no dots means it's an actual animation, and you won't go deeper, you just play the animation, as you can see here. You can go even crazier. Let's make a decent folder here. And then indecent. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Okay. Anyway, it's your product. You do anything you want, as Bob Ross would say. Okay, I'm resetting this. It takes a little longer now, of course, because the list is getting longer. You can add up to 50, 100. I haven't really tested. I went up to 100, and it was fine. So here's the female sit. It's still the first one that it will encounter, so that will be the default one. But I can go to so there's decent, and there's indecent. Of course, they have the same names: female 1, female 2, female 1, female 2. I should have changed the numbers, but anyway, you got the idea. I'm going to the male folder now, and I'm going to do male 2. There's no sub folders in here. It's easier for men. It's always easier. There we go. So yeah, now if I stand up, Second Life does that sometimes. Sends me to the 0 point and back. If I stand up and sit back again, you'll see that I'm. Come on, sit down. Oh, there you go. I'm still in the last pose that was used. So it will always do that. I always remember the last pose. Let's go back. Let's go back to neutral and stand up. You will see it has remembered the neutral, which is a rather silly one as well. But these are just demo poses. I'm pretty sure you have better ones. So this sort of gives you an idea about how to build a hierarchy of folders, subfolders, sub-subfolders, and then the final contents of them. And you can have folders and animations in another folder, as you can see here. It's totally up to you. The goal of this whole thing is to make it easily navigable, to navigate through it with the least amount of effort. So that's how you make the folders and the animations, how to set up the note card. Of course, the position here is not very decent. I'm inside the cushion. I don't want that. I don't want that for any of the animations at all. See, I'm all inside. I have to push myself up a bit somehow. And this is the fun part of the Posy system. You can do that not by going to adjust and hit X1 or minus X1, wait for 2 seconds and hit minus X1 again to nudge myself to a certain direction repeatedly. This is a bit tedious. Everyone's doing it, and it seems as if it's taking up a whole lot of valuable SL time going through all these X, Y, and Z buttons in the menu. What you do here instead with the Posy system is you go to settings. That's these double hammers here. That's the settings button. Once you're in there, you can actually use your arrow keys and your page up and page down keys and shift arrow keys to move yourself in a quicker way. So let's just do that. Let's, for fun, press the right arrow key. Oh my god, I'm moving right. Let's press the left arrow key. Tap, 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 tap. Oh my god, I'm moving left. That's a lot faster than having to go do this with menu buttons, because each menu button press will give a 2-second delay. So you'll have to wait for 2 seconds before you do the next step. So that's one and then 2, etc. So that's basically the speed by which you can adjust yourself using a menu. But with the keys, of course, it's a lot faster. It's a lot more convenient. You don't have to move the mouse around either. Okay, so that's left and right. Now what's back and forth? That's your up key. Maybe if you look well, it's not really pointing up. If you look down on your keyboard, that instead of pointing up, which is towards the sky, the arrow key is not pointing towards the sky, it's actually pointing towards your screen. So logically, your arrow key will push your avatar, the arrow up key, will push your avatar further into your screen. So let's press the up key, or let's press the towards your screen key, as it should be called. See, it pushes me towards the screen. Now the arrow down key similarly doesn't point down at all. It doesn't point to your feet in real life. It points to your belly or to your side in real life. And it will similarly pull your avatar towards the outside world, as you can see here. So up key is pushing backward and down key is pushing forward, pulling forward. Now there's of course that one direction left that we really need here. I need to pull myself out of this cushion by moving my avatar up. For that I use the shift arrow left key. There we go. That's too high. It's just to show you how high we can go. And then of course the shift right key, that's to push myself back. Okay, now what it's a little coarse. I can fine tune that because these increments are 10 centimeters. This is a little too coarse. Here in local chat, watch this. If I tap the page down key, I have to click on my screen, tap, move 1 centimeter. Now my increment is 1 centimeter, as you can see here. Right, it's much finer, these movements. And I tap again, page down, and I'm back to 10 centimeters. So 1 was fine. Up and down as well. So that's moving up and down either in 10 or 1 centimeter increments. Here's another fun thing though. Let's go back to 10 centimeters again. Let's move my camera. Let's look at myself from the side. Now, what would the arrow keys do now? If I press the right arrow key again, oh, I'm still moving right. Well, from my new point of view, of course. So depending on your camera view, here's the left arrow key. Depending on your camera view, your arrow keys will respond accordingly in an intuitive way. So here's the front view, or here's the side view. Right arrow key moves myself to the right from this point of view. Now I look at myself from the front, and I press the right arrow key, and now you see it's moving me this way to the right. So that's just to keep everything intuitive. So that's moving, depending on how you look at your avatar, and that's toggling between increments. Now there's that other thing you might want to do. Maybe you want to rotate your avatar a little bit. It looks fine like this. It's a female sit. Maybe I want to rotate myself a little bit around the z-axis. Well, let's go to rotation mode. This is of course movement mode. To go to rotation mode, you press the page up key. There you go. Now it says rotate 1 centimeter. If I press it again, I go back to move 1 centimeter. Oh, rotate 1 degree, that is. And of course, the page down key with rotation, I can also change the increments. 1 degree, 10 degrees, 1 degree, 10 degrees was nice. Okay, so my right arrow, what would it do now? Well, it will push my head to the right like that, as you can see. So that's pretty logical too, I thought. The left arrow will push my head to the left. And now the up key, or the towards my screen key, will push my head backwards like that. And of course the down key pull my head forward. And of course if I tap page down, I have a 1 degree increment. You see everything is more subtle. Of course I wanted to move myself along the z-axis. I haven't shown you that yet. You have to use shift for that. Shift, left arrow key will move myself. Let's do a bigger increment there. Shift, left arrow key moves me, and shift, the right arrow key moves me the other way. Let's push myself backward a bit so my shoe gets out. And there we go. Now this is basically it. This is how you rotate and move yourself. You don't need to save anything at all. You can just stand. Now it will say I lost controls here, see, because I stood up. And if I sit on it again, you will notice that my rotation, I rotate myself a tiny bit. And I'm not inside the cushion. Oh, there's my lovely assistant. She'll be helping me in a little bit. So this is how you set up a menu with the note card with all these names and animation names and rotational values and positional values. Of course, these values aren't valid anymore because I all changed them. So if you want to make a new backup after this change, you go to settings, you press the backup button. Now here in local chat, you'll see a bunch of lines here. This is the copy everything above this line, copy everything below this line. So that's this chunk here. You may recognize this part a little bit from the note card. Let's copy that, copy. Let's go to the note card, backup. Let's paste it. Of course, there's now all these timestamps and the name of the furniture there. You can save it like that. It doesn't matter if you leave this in here. But of course, I'm a little OCD. Copy. I'm going to replace that with nothing, so it's more cleaned up like that now. So now it's backed up too. So this female sit is set nicely. Of course, that would be the first female sit. The second female sit is still in its 0, 0, 0 everything position and rotation. But at least we took care of the first female one. So you have to go through all these animations and the indecent ones too. And they're all the same actually in this demo. yours will be different, I hope. The male one needs to be adjusted as well, of course. So that needs to, let's go back to move. So that would be the first male, and then in the second male there, that's better. Let's go to the female. I'm not going to do them all. Let's do the neutral. Neutral is inside the couch too. Let's move, go to settings, move up a bit. There we go. A little bit more. Rotate a little bit that way, and then a little bit down again. There. And it's automatically saved, so everything's stored now, as you can see. Let's go back to the male. See, all saved. Could have been better, but you get the idea. Now you can, all these settings, when you reset the scripts, it'll all be gone. It will read the note card again, and everything will be crap again. So you have to back this up and save it in the note card. You could do that by going to settings and press the backup key again. So you get this. Now you see there's a bunch of funny values here and here and here too. I didn't do these ones. I was too lazy for that. But so you copy this. Copy. Let's do it one more time then. And paste these in the backup note card. Remove this. So copy, find, replace all, save. So now this is your backup. Now you could reset your scripts, but you really don't need to. I mean, it knows all the settings now, so you actually don't need to save anything at all, unless of course there's something crashing, something weird going on. Then it would be wise to reset the scripts. You never know in a cell, so just as a precaution. Okay, so that's how you set up, in the simplest possible terms, a bunch of animations, how to make a menu structure for them, and how to set the rotations and the positions. And I've only shown it for a single person. It, of course, in the menu it has a single sits folder, and of course this implies that you can add multiple sits. I'm going to show you for 2 persons what will happen if there's only a single person sitting on it, and a single sits folder in it, and a second person wants to sit on it. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to switch to my alt. So I'm asking my lovely assistant here to sit with me on this couch. And nothing happens. She's being pushed off. Now, isn't that mean? No, it's just it hasn't been set up for 2 persons yet. So we're going to do that now. Back to my own screen. We're going to set up this couch for 2 people. To wait for the contents. There we go. And you might have guessed it. You will have to add another folder, so that will be couple sits. And then we could let's just add 1 couple sit here. Couple 1, okay, 2 couple sits. There we go. Couple 2. So behind the first one, well, let's do I don't know. Have 2 men sit next to each other, and here have a man and a woman sit next to each other, and here 2 women. There we go. So for 2 men sits, well, all we have here is 1 male sit. So let's just use that one. Male sit 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then a semicolon, and I'll use that male sit again for the second person. But of course, I expect you to have a unique sit for each person sitting on there. So that's 6 zeros again. So this is how you set up a 2-person sit. This is the word that will appear in the menu, and this is referring to the first person, and it's values and then referring to the second person and its values. Same goes for all the other couple sits. So that would be female. Oh. And that would be female. And that would also be female. Oh. So MM, that would be male, and then MF, that would be male and female, FF, female, female. Save. Now I have to reset the scripts because now it has to read the note card again. Let's see. Don't click this away until it says done here. There. You see it takes a little longer too to read because I added more lines. The more lines you add, the longer it takes to set up. And it's set up. I'm going to sit myself on it. I'm going to sit my lovely assistant on it. And oops, we're all sitting inside each other here because all our sit position values are 0. So we have to quickly correct that. Let's go to, oh, what's that? What's all these zeros here? There's something wrong here. Let's, we made an error in our, I made an error in my note card. Let's see where it went wrong. Ah, these are not semicolons. These are normal colons. That one there. So it totally screwed it up. Have to be careful there. It'll be saved, and I have to reset my scripts again. So I have to be totally wary of any script errors. If you see something funny in your menu, it's most of the time it's your note card's not been set up well. Okay, so I'm going to sit myself and my assistant on this couch again. She's still stuck in the animation there. And I'm back again with my assistant and me sitting on the couch inside each other again, which is not very decent. But at least, here we go. The animations are now correct. MM, MF, FF. We're playing MM here now. It's 2 men spreading people. Let's do man, female, male, female. There we go. Oh, look. I'm actually in the female pose and my assistant's in the male pose. Let's change that. Let's swap. There we go. I'm in the settings menu here and it has a swap button now because there's more than one person on it. Let's move myself and my alt a little bit to the side. Actually, I'm now selected here. I'm going to move myself aside and up a bit, and I'm going to select my assistant. Move her up a bit too. There we go. That's good. That's all set up. Now let's go. So that's the male female. Let's do the male too. Set up. Let's move myself again up. Let's select my assistant again and up a bit. There we go. And now we go to the last one, the female. Aren't we lovely? There. Up. And I'm going to select Boss Nymph here. That would be bush nymph in English. There we go. And close. Now we're all done. So if I stand up, then you'll see Boss Nymph has this one person sit there. If I sit down again, we'll both be in our lovely female poses again. And that's all saved, as you can see now. And of course, it's saved, and we shouldn't have to reset anything at all, as long as everything works, but you never know in a cell. So let's back this up too. Here we go. Here's the new backup for the couple sits and the single sits. Copy. Let's go back to the note card again. And then of course there's this ugly timestamp and name that you can remove. ready. So this is all you need to do now. So this basically is ready to sell. Now you may have noticed if there's two people sitting on this, I only see the couple sit because this is now my home directory. I don't see the single sits anymore. Well, it wouldn't make any sense because there's a couple sitting on there now. So you have to take that into account if you make a piece of furniture. There's this single sits, and this is everything that's in the single sits menu. Of course, you have to have this even on pieces of furniture that will accommodate more people. You always have to provide settings for single sits. And while this is a 3-person couch, you can imagine triple. Now it's actually let's do a 3 men in here. A lucky woman with 2 men and 3 women. Let's make this a little wider. This would be the way to go for 3 sits, 3 female sitters. Save. So now it's actually suitable for 3. Of course, you'd have to use your arrows and change these settings again. You know, put an avatar on each of these cushions. You could go on, actually, you could put people on the back cushions too, so you could accommodate 6 or 7 or 8. 8's the maximum amount of people you can use in this Posy system. I haven't tried it beyond 8 people, but it wouldn't be practical because in settings you can select a person, 2 people here. Actually 8 is the maximum amount of people you'll be able to see here. So that's how you set up for multiple people. And yeah, it just takes a little bit of practice, especially with the arrow keys, to move people around. But it's eventually a lot faster than, you know, setting up the positions and rotations using a menu. That's the main takeaway of this. Now, if I go to, I want to explain a few more things, a few minor things. You've seen setting up with using arrow keys now. You've seen how to select a person, to add it, to move around. So I can select my assistant and move her around. I can select myself, move myself around, and it will automatically save. You don't have to do anything for it. Of course, there might be people sitting on your avatar and they're going to do crazy things. They're just going to move you up in the air and then leave it at that. And then the next person would sit on it and it would be a little inconvenient. They'd have to take themselves down again. If your visitors are likely to do such things, then there's an option to turn the autosave off. You just say no save. The convenient thing actually is I'm the owner. It will actually save it for me. So I lost control here now. See, it's going back to single sit mode. I'm going to sit on it again and see. It even though no save or autosave was off, I selected no save. It still saved mine, but that's just because I'm the owner. I can do that. Oh, of course I have to go to settings again to move myself. There we go. A little bit up. I can demonstrate. I can go to my assistant screen and make her move herself around and then stand up and move back again. And then you will see that because autosave is off, that it will not have saved for her. So I'm going to do that now. Switch to her screen. I'm in my assistant screen now. There we go. I'm going to take over from Arduenn here because he was in edit mode. There. Now he got a warning that I took over and his menu disappeared, and I have the menu instead. So now I can select and I can swap, and what you see, what's missing here is the auto save and the backup, those buttons are gone because I'm not the owner, so I can't change that. So I'm going to move myself around, up, and then I'm going to stand up there. Now my own avatar is now in the one person sit. I'm going to sit back again, and you see I'm back to the original position. So only the owner can, it's only saved when the owner does it, in this case. Okay, switching back to my own avatar again. Here you can see that my assistant took over, so I lost control over it. I can regain control by just there, taking control. So if I move myself, rotate myself in a silly way, that's kept. So if I stand, I lost control here, sit down again, yeah, so I can still mess it up. So let's just go to another pose. There, fixed. So that's another feature. You can turn autosave on, or you can turn it off. There, no save. It's turned off now. And now I'm turning it on. It will tell you here on local chat what the actual status is. So it's on now, so everyone can actually change it permanently, so to say. Now, there's of course another way. If someone screws it up royally, if you pardon my French, you can still restore it by just resetting the scripts, and it will read all the settings again from the note card. So all those nasty repositionings will be undone, and it has unset everyone again. Let's just say goodbye to my assistant. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you for your help. So what have I shown you right now? I've shown you how to set up the note card, change the positions and save them, back them up, how to toggle between save and autosave and no save. There's one settings button here I want to share with you, and that's the set view. On a lot of furniture, when you sit down on it and your camera views the default view, you will notice that your camera will suddenly swing right behind your avatar, sometimes behind the wall, which can be very annoying. This Posy system will take care of that. So if you sit down and you want your camera per default to be in a nice angle like this, nice and prominent, so you move your camera around, you zoom in. There, this is a nice position as a default view when you sit down. So you just say set view, and then you're all done. So yeah, let's have a look at this. Standing up, you see my camera is now in its default position behind the avatar, and if I sit down here, it takes a while. See, the view is nice as I did. Of course, you can also do more dramatic default views, something like, I don't know, this far corner here, just to prove my point. Close, stand. So this is it will not work if your camera is not in a default position. So I can, make my camera point at this and then sit there. Then of course I won't have that default position because I deliberately put my camera here. But if I hit escape, then I'm in my default and I sit down, and I should get this default position here. See, but it's just to prove my point. It's a little weird. This is a nice one. So yeah, let's just set this here. Set view and done. So that's the set view function. So I think we've covered everything now. How to set up a single person, a multiple person, the positions, rotations, how to back up, how to turn off autosave or turn it on, and how to set view. That's basically all the functions you need in a set script.